This is the moment that we've all been waiting for, the new MM2H requirements that has been cabinet approved. A few months ago, we released a video with the latest requirements on the MM2H, which was hot off the press back then. However, a lot of the requirements were not yet firmed up by the cabinet. So in this video, let's cover the latest MM2H requirements, also with some considerations that might make MM2H a yay or a nay. Hi everyone, my name is Fran, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, and if you're new to the channel, a quick introduction. My husband is Singaporean, I'm Malaysian, and we're currently residing in Penang. But no, my husband is not on an MM2H, he's actually on long-term social visit pass, sponsored by me. We are early retired, therefore our YouTube channel covers a lot of topics on early retirement, financial literacy, mindset, and cost of living. Do give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video with all your friends. And let's begin! A brief introduction of MM2H. MM2H stands for Malaysia, My Second Home, and is a program started by the government in 2002 where it allows foreigners to purchase a property and live in Malaysia. All the comprehensive details of MM2H is actually covered in our previous video, so please feel free to refer to that. Why is this latest revised MM2H guidelines so hotly anticipated? When there were many changes in the 2021 MM2H requirements, a lot of people's hopes were dashed because of the high requirements on fixed deposits, offshore income, and liquid assets. Well, I guess the government must have heard the feedback of the people because they revised the MM2H guidelines to renew the interest in the program. The new MM2H program now includes 3 categories: silver, gold, and platinum, along with a special category for special economic zones and special financial zones, which I'll get into it later. 3 out of 4 requirements which had led to the collapse of the MM2H program in 2021 also were revised. Under the latest MM2H program, applicants are now divided into 3 tiers: silver, gold, and platinum. Now, the one major thing that everyone must note, regardless of which tier you're applying for, now it is mandatory for you to purchase a property in Malaysia. Firstly, under the silver tier, you would need a fixed deposit of US $150,000 and a participation fee of RM1,000. For the gold tier, the fixed deposit is US $500,000 and the participation fee is RM3,000. For the platinum tier, the fixed deposit is US $1 million and the fee is RM200,000. Wow, that's a huge jump! Now, for the property that you would need to purchase in Malaysia, for the silver tier, it is more or equal to 600,000 ringgit. For the gold, it is 1 million ringgit. And for the platinum, 2 million ringgit. As you can see, the new MM2H requirements are revised to attract high net worth individuals into the country, which is why for the platinum tier, you're allowed to bring in maids, but for the gold and silver, you are not. As for the pass validity, as you can see, the platinum gets 20 years, the gold gets 15, and the silver gets 5 years. Another glaring difference is that on the platinum tier, you are allowed to work and have businesses in Malaysia, whereas for gold and silver, it's on application basis only, and that of course might incur additional fees. Now, what happens after your pass expires? Well, after your term expires, the participants are required to renew it every 5 years and the fee differs according to the tiering. Good news is that upon approval of your MM2H visa, regardless of the tier you're in, you're able to withdraw maximum 50% of your fixed deposit to purchase a house, education, health, and tourism. Now, for the final glaring difference of this new MM2H requirement is that none of the tiers are eligible to apply for permanent residence status. A final thing to note on this MM2H is that there is a minimum 90-day stay imposed by the government for all MM2H holders, regardless of your tier. Now let's talk about some considerations that might affect some potential MM2H applicants. Firstly, all newly approved MM2H holders will need to buy a house from the primary market, which means new launches directly from the developers and not from the resale market, which is the secondary market. MM2H applicants also cannot sell the property within 10 years of purchase. Now, if you wish to purchase a new property within that period, the original property must be sold and the new property's value must be higher than the original property's value at the time of purchase. For example, if the property purchased by a platinum tier applicant is valued at RM2 million, the new upgraded property must be higher than RM2 million. So here is where I see there may be some deterrence and pushback from potential MM2H applicants. For example, you're on a gold tier and you've bought a house worth either 1 million or more than 1 million RM, right? And then let's say 6 years later, you like to upgrade the home to a 1.2 to or $1.5 million home. This will actually mean that you need to sell your original home, which you bought at 1 million ringgit. But however, you're not able to sell it to new and prospective MM2H holders because they can only buy from the primary market. This means that your pool of potential buyers would be mainly from the local market, which they may not have the financial capability to buy your expensive home. Another likely scenario is that let's say you buy a property at 1 million ringgit, 6 years later you like to sell it and you want to buy another property at 1.2, but your current property has devalued and let's say it's now only worth 800,000 ringgit. So not only do you swallow a loss of 200,000 ringgit, but you also need to spend more money to buy another property which needs to be higher than your original 1 million ringgit property. Another consideration is the total cash outlay, which is your upfront costs. Let's look at the lowest tier, the silver one. Now, on paper, it might seem very reasonable, even for people from Singapore, US, Australia, and New Zealand. So here are the numbers and allow me to convert everything into US dollars for convenience sake. The first upfront cost will be the 150,000 US dollars fixed deposit and the participation fee, which is negligible. Once your application is approved, then you need to buy a house, which is around US dollars 150,000, which is equivalent to around RM 600,000 minimum requirement. You are able to withdraw maximum 50% of your FD, which is US dollars 75,000. Now let's talk about the additional costs that will definitely be incurred. The first will be your relocation costs, your flight ticket to Malaysia, you've got moving costs to bring all your things over, and you also probably will have insurance as well. Don't forget, you also have renovation costs as well as furnishings added on for your new home. And don't forget about a car. You definitely need a car in Malaysia, so factoring in the road tax and a car insurance and maintenance, all these need to be factored in. All these additional costs can add up to a pretty penny, which is around US dollars 75,000. Therefore, this brings your total cash outlay to around 300,000 US dollars, which is not a small sum indeed. On a side note, for you guys Singaporeans who are thinking of taking up MM2H and you can reside in Forest City in JB, your total cash outlay for this example for the silver tier is around Sing dollars 400,000. So why did I mention Forest City? Well, according to Hong Leong Investment Bank research, they think that this development is an overall positive for most developers, given that under the SEZ and the SFZ category, MM2H holders are restricted to purchase property from the primary market, which means that this is especially positive for Forest City, which is designated as a SFZ. So with these new MM2H requirements, for those of you guys who are thinking of moving to JB under the silver tier for MM2H, the move may not be as affordable as you might think. Now let me throw a lifeline to all of you. You know, recently John and I, we went to Sarawak and we had a fantastic time there, and guess what? Sarawak also has an MM2H, it's called MM2H. Sarawak, Malaysia, my second home. MM2H requirements are a lot more relaxed than the MM2H1. Now I won't go into the details, please feel free to check out our video which we did and we interviewed a lawyer working there as well. To give you a brief summary though, for people above the age of 50, you only need to deposit $150,000 for individual, 300,000 ringgit as a couple. Instead of the 90 days that you need to live in Malaysia for MM2H, for Sarawak, you only need to live in Sarawak for an accumulative of 30 days in a calendar year. So where do you spend the rest of your time if it's not in Sarawak? Of course, you can stay in Sarawak longer if you wish. However, you can also wish to stay in the US, Australia, New Zealand, even in West Malaysia for the rest of the time. For interested parties and further clarification, you can always look for authorized agents for MM2H and MM2H. With rising costs all over the world, you know, these new requirements from MM2H really came in at the right time. And do consider Malaysia as one of your potential countries to live in, because Malaysia is a beautiful country and it can be quite affordable as well. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of the new MM2H requirements. I'm Fran, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, signing off. Please remember to like this video, share this video with all your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you again in the next video.
Hey, do join us for our free masterclass webinars where you are up your financial literacy, break out the corporate rat race, and gun for your financial independence. Do register for it now.